Hey guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. Today we're back at Hebert's Town and Country and we're going to take a look at the 2022 fully redesigned all new Jeep Wagoneer 3. And obviously this is no comparison to the last model that we saw, which was a 1991 Wagoneer. This is more competitive with modern day vehicles such as the Suburbans, the Tahoes, depending on the trim level, even the Cadillac Escalade, and of course other models, the Expedition, the Ford Expedition as well. But I want to go over some of the interesting features that this model has that I found as we were just kind of looking through different things. I would call them quirks and features, but somebody else does that. I just don't remember their name. Even though some people say I look like or talk like the guy. Tell me in the comments, do you think I sound like Doug? This is not Doug DeMuro. Anyway, starting here on the front end, you've got these very large letters. Kind of interesting to see how large those are right there. Kind of a little bit different, maybe Jeep trying to set themselves apart from a lot of the other manufacturers out there, because you don't see that quite as large on most other vehicles, and that even flows its way here onto the side. You've got Wagoneer again right here. I like that American flag right there. These models are built in Michigan. I forget the name of the town there, but they are built in Michigan. And of course, for those of you who always ask when I forget to say it, it's not on right now, but the turn signal indicator is built into the side view mirror. And something interesting about this model, about these, it has the 5.7 liter V8 under the hood. Let's pop that open and I'll tell you exactly what that interesting thing is. Okay guys, here under the hood is the 5.7 liter V8. It makes 392 horsepower, 404 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. This is a two-wheel drive model, by the way. So let's talk a little bit about gas mileage. 16 miles per gallon estimated city, 22 highway, 18 combined. And according to Jeep, per every 100 miles you drive with this Wagoneer, you should burn 5.6 gallons of gas. But here's the interesting thing. I didn't make you wait too long, so don't want to hear about that in the comments now. But this is what's called a mild hybrid powertrain. So what exactly does that mean? It's not going to be a situation where when you're driving down the road, it's going to switch between electric and gas. But as you get down to a certain speed, the gas engine is going to shut off. It's going to run on electric. And when you're at a complete stop, you'll have that same experience. You do have the ability to shut the auto stop start feature off. So that basically you can eliminate that if you want to. But just so you know what's there, that is the case. And of course, I'll have Carrie kind of swing around over here. One of my favorite features as the gearhead that I am, I love the struts right here. At this price point, over $86,000, I would expect you wouldn't have to go hunting for that rod to hold the hood up when you open the hood to show off your Jeep Wagoneer at Cars and Coffee. And if you're wondering, even though in person, I didn't expect these wheels to be as large as they are, but they are 22-inch wheels. For some reason, they just don't seem to look as big. I don't know why that is. And something that if you saw my video on the Wagoneer 2 that we did a couple of days ago, here's something that that model didn't have. The power side steps, which by the way, you can turn those off within the infotainment screen if you want to. There might be situations where maybe that's a good idea, but classic to how these typically operate, they don't go back up and retract immediately when you close the doors. So that's kind of good just in case maybe somebody needs to get in real quick that wasn't already in, or get back out for some reason. So let's take a look at what we have here. And again, you've got the large letters right here, very large. And an interesting thing here, let's just do this real quick if I can find the button. Hear that? You can lock the door lock the interior via a button back here and set the alarm. So let's open this up now. I've got the remote and we'll take a quick look at that. We'll have Carrie come in and show the remote. So there you go. You've got all the typical stuff you would expect to see there, including the remote start. That's always a good thing. And just to give you a look at the back of it. So let's talk a little bit about functionality here with this rear tailgate. If this is too high for you, that's as high as it goes. You might say, oh man, that's too high. Somebody who's really short trying to, I can't reach it. I can't really imitate a short person. But okay, you want to lower it down there. There's a button right here, and before I do anything with that, we'll have Carrie come in and give you a good close-up on that. You can hold this button down, and it takes, a couple of seconds, so we're going to listen for the beep. Maybe more than a couple of seconds, I don't know. But let's close that. By the way, that's the button you use to close this. There's not one on the tailgate itself, but now that that's closed, we're going to hit the button on the remote 2 times and open that back up. One of the multiple options of how you can open and or close this. And as you can see, it goes back to the same height where I had it set. Now, to keep from hitting my head on that, we'll do this real quick. Speaking of hitting my head on this, here's something interesting. Let's do a demonstration of what happens if maybe someone's standing here, or what if the kids are sitting on the back with their legs dangling out. This is interesting. Do we have a good view? Can you see me completely? So what happens if you hit the button? Let's see what happens. I'm just going to stand here and act like I don't realize what I did, and oh, it's going to go back up. So there you go. That's pretty cool. And you've got this carpet right here to protect this carpet under here. It's kind of an interesting thing to consider. But the good thing I like about that, notice how the floor stays up. I didn't do anything. It automatically stays in place, and then you just pull that right back down. Very easy. A little bit of storage space down there. And another thing that I really like here, let's close this down. Over here on this side, you've got not a USB. There should be a USB port here, I think. I haven't seen anybody doing that yet. But you've got the 12 volt, and then underneath that, down here on this bottom area, you've got the functionality with the buttons to lower the seats. So let's do that. And I like the fact, I'm just going to hit them both at the same time, that all you have to do is just hit them like that. Well, let's see. Hold on. There we go. And I didn't move that seat belt out of the way, but just so we can use this for demonstration purposes. As you can see, you don't have to hold those down. And by the way, you can move that out of the way. That's not a problem. There's a release for that. What about the middle row seats? Well, we can also do that too. I'm going to try not to get in the way too much of the shot. That's going to go down, and then so is this one. Now, there is a little bit of a difference between the two in that the middle row seats, you'll have to manually raise those back up, but these rear seats will hit both sides again. Notice all I did was just touch the button and it comes back up. You don't have to hold that down or anything like that. I really like that feature. But let's hop into the interior via the side doors, and we'll start talking about what you can find there. Okay guys, let's take a look in here. And one of the first things I want to show you, do have the shades here. See if I can do this manually. There we go. But you can see that you can put the shades up. It's still up on the other side over there. But let's talk about access to these rear seats. You've got, of course, storage here, the door bins right here, all that good stuff. But there is a lot of room in here. And the cool thing, of course, if your rear seat passengers don't have enough room back there, enough leg room, you can move these seats back and forth. But even with them all the way back, there is still a ridiculous amount of room back there. We'll show you that in just a second. Now, if you wanted to do this, well, obviously you could, just to lower that down. There's a couple of different ways to do that. That lever right there. But, and let me get out of Carrie's way. I'll let him come in here and show you. On top of the seat right here, next to the headrest, is the button that you push to move that seat out of the way. And so I'm going to let Carrie stay right there and try not to get in the way, just so you can see that. Let's see if we can make that work. Come on. There we go. And then you just push that out of the way. So I'm going to hop in. Very easy to do. And I'll hop over here on the driver's side of things. This seat is all the way back. And I still have a lot of leg room. You can see all of that. I am very impressed with that. That's something that is lacking in a lot of 3-row SUVs. And another thing that's pretty nice here, it has the shade right here. You've got your own little sunroof here in the rear seat area for the rear seat passengers. Of course, cup holder right here, air conditioning vents, and some USB connectivity. And also, let's see here, if I wanted to let Carrie do all the work and just kind of recline here, well, I could. And maybe I should do that. Should I do that? Tell me in the comments. Should I make Carrie work harder than I do? No, definitely not. Got to say a special thanks to my buddy for helping out with these videos. So let me hop back out here. In fact, let's do this. I'll just pull the seat back, put that in place, and I'll just hop up here and we'll start talking about what you're going to find. A lot of stuff here to deal with. Connectivity, you've got more cup holders. Let me move this out of the way. A little bit of storage right there. You can even put phones there. You've got the power outlet right there. You got your USB, and of course the 12 volt, and then all the controls here for the air conditioning. Now it is single zone here in the rear, so tri-zone climate control for the entire vehicle, dual in the front, single here in the rear. And I don't know what kind of a view we can get. Maybe we can swing up, but you do have the panoramic sunroof right here as well. So that gives a really good view if you're sitting in the middle row, not as much as you get in the rear. But like I said, you got your own sunroof back there. So let's hop into the front and see what you'll find there. All right, guys, I'm gonna have Carrie step inside here with the camera, or step beside the vehicle with the camera, and show you a little bit of what's here. And you do have very comfortable seating here. Everything is very, very nice, high-end materials, all that good stuff. You've got the glove box right here. Don't have an upper glove box, just the lower glove box, a little bit of space in there. And as you can see, there is a lot of space here with this console. Of course, it doubles as an armrest, but I'll tell you what, I almost feel like I'd get an echo if I said hello down into this console right here. Kind of an interesting thing. But what I think I'm going to do is have Carrie actually sit in the passenger seat here. We're going to change angles in just a second, but I want to show you some really interesting features that you'll find here on the dashboard. Okay, let's talk a little bit about connectivity and all this good stuff right here. In fact, I'll show you where the wireless phone charging pad is. It's going to be right here, and it takes a second for that to come on, but you'll notice not only does it come on the phone right there, but there's that little blue light down there as well. And if you want to hide that away, well, you easily can do that. And you've got connectivity, or not connectivity, but buttons here to manage multiple different functions of the vehicle. And you always know when you do. Let's see if you can hear this. It just kind of makes a sound and vibrates and everything. So there's that auto start stop feature that I like to turn off in all vehicles, and several other features there. You also have the rotary shifter right there for selecting different functionality or functions of the transmission. In fact, let's go into reverse and we'll look at the screen up here. And there's a couple of different ways you can do this. Of course, you've got your 360-degree view. That is a live view, by the way. As you can see, my driver's side door is open, and we'll close that back up right there. But here's the neat thing. I really like not only the clarity that you have right here, but also the multiple camera angles that you have. And, you know, I don't mean to sound like an infomercial, but that's not all. Maybe I should sound that way. And the reason I say that, let's go back here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to, we're at the front camera right here, and I'm going to pull back on the lever right here that you use to control all the functionality of the windshield wipers and running your windshield washer fluid. So I'm going to pull back on it and watch the screen. Here's what's going to happen. You've got a front camera washer. But once again, that's not all. Let's go to the rear camera, and then you're going to push the lever forward, and it's going to clean off the rear camera washer. So a few different things there that are very interesting. Now, maybe it's just me, but when I look at these buttons right here with the blue arrow pointing down and the red arrow pointing up, I want to have my finger underneath those areas right there. But here's the interesting thing. This is just all one button right here, basically. And so the whole thing moves and you're turning everything up, or if you push it down, of course, you're turning everything down. I don't know, I just thought that was interesting, just something I thought I would show. But let's run through here and take a look at some of the features and the functionality here of what you have with the vehicle. And of course, this by no means what we see on the screen right now is all of it. You see quite a bit there, and you can even drop the headrests in the rear on those seats if you want to from right here. So the driver can actually do that. In fact, I'll have Carrie pan back there to the back seat real quick, and I'll show you how this works. So if there's nobody sitting back there and you're thinking, I can't see because those headrests are in the way, well, all you got to do is push that option on the screen right there, and there you go. Something that I think is interesting and useful. Everything you would expect to use is here. It's very simple, very easy to understand. You can go through all your different features and functionality, the radio and all that good stuff. Here's where you can control the air conditioning from the screen if you want to. And of course, navigation, some of that might take a little while to come up, so I'm not going to wait too long, but we'll just see if we can get that to come up for you. I don't want to waste too much time on that, but I wanted to show you everything as best as we can. And then, of course, we don't have a phone connected right there. You got options with the vehicle here as well. And that's where, if you don't have to be in reverse to actually see the view with the cameras. And of course, if you want to zoom in, you can right there, see what's behind you. I don't mean to put my arm across like that, but don't really have much of a choice. There are your other options for cameras as well. So I'm not in reverse, as you can see. The shifter is in park right there, just so you'll know. But that's one of the things that in years gone by, a lot of these vehicles did not have, which was basically the functionality to go in and look at the cameras and everything without being in reverse. Okay, and just a quick look here at the dashboard, just so you can kind of see some of the changes you can make and different things you can go through if you want to. And there is a lot of customization here, a lot of good information that you can go through. You can have the digital speedometer if you want that, but a very easy system to understand. There's your steering wheel mounted controls, and of course right here, that very rarely used option by a lot of drivers, at least here in Northwest Louisiana. When you hit that, you notice what's happening on the dashboard right there? See those that arrow going to the right? And then when I flip that lever down into the down position, it's pointing to the left. That means that you're letting people around you know what you're doing with your blinkers. It's a novel idea. And just to show everyone real quick what we have here, here are the controls for that sunroof. You've got a sunshade, or a shade, manual power shade, we'll get that right, that you can retract or put in position if you want to. And of course, there is a sliding portion of the sunroof as well, and you can turn your lights on and off, the map lights and everything like that. Pretty simple to figure out, but just thought we would show that. And then I'm going to have Carrie put the sun visor down. Something that I thought was interesting is the fact that you do not have a very big vanity mirror right there. There's a lot of room left for that. Maybe we'll see that down the road with these Jeep Wagoneers. And then of course, also we're going to pull that back, pull the sunshade back, and that way you can see what you can do when the sun is on the side of the vehicle. Makes it much easier to block the sun out that way. One thing, in case you wondered, because I didn't talk about it earlier, when you lock the vehicle, let's just take a look at this just so you know. I locked the vehicle, and notice the power mirrors didn't fold in because those are not power mirrors. They're power adjustable, but you can manually fold those in, just so you might know. So I've got to say a special thanks to my friends at Hebert's Town & Country for loaning me this Wagoneer for the day, and all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, guys, make sure to check out another of the videos that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.